to the second week of the Faith Muscles Boot Camp. How'd you do with the first week? The first spiritual exercise of creating your sacred space or adding to the sacred space you already have. Be sure to take a look at what others have posted about their first spiritual exercise in our Rumbles channel where we're hosting this Faith Muscles Boot Camp. And if you haven't already done so, please add your comments to that. Now, week 2. This spiritual exercise is called Faith by Numbers. This is a fun little exercise, and it can change your life because it helps us focus more on God and on how much He delights in us. Here's how to do it. Whenever you happen to glance at a watch or a clock and the numbers happen to be, now this only works with digital displays, not the analog clocks. Whenever you happen to see, you happen to look at the clock and just so happens that right at that moment the number is a repeat number like 333 or 1111 or 1212, or 111, 111. Anytime you see the number is repeated, it's the same number for all 3 or 4 digits. Stop, smile, and say, God, hi, hello. Take it as a sign that God is getting your attention and saying, hi, hello, I'm here, and I'm happy to be with you. God's timing is always perfect. Whether we are, going to the grocery store and it's raining, and just as we pull into the parking lot, a car pulls out, giving us a space to park in close to the door. Or, we've asked for God to intervene in some way, and we need to trust His perfect timing. For example, I'm making this podcast on a rainy day. My office is a trailer that we've converted, and we can hear the rain on the roof very well, and I didn't want that to be interfering with the podcast. So in my morning prayer time today, I said, Lord, be in charge of the timing of the rain today so that I can make the podcast. Give me a break in the rain long enough to make this Faith Muscles Boot Camp for this week. And guess what? He did. Whenever we ask God to be in charge of the timing of everything, and that's how I always start the day, my morning prayers always include asking Him to be in charge of the timing of everything that's going to happen that day. His timing is uncanny. His timing is always perfect. And when we're praying for something and it seems like God is delaying the answer, we're waiting too long for something, it really means that God has a better plan than what we're envisioning for the timing. And we can trust God for the timing. But the ability to trust, now this is where strengthening those faith muscles comes in. The ability to trust God in the timing of how quickly He's answering our prayers when things seem to be going too slow, or when it seems like God's ignoring our prayers because by now we should have the answer to it and it's not come. We're able to trust God more in those supposed delays when we exercise the faith muscle of God's perfect timing. Whenever we ask Him to be in charge of the timing, and we notice that in the little things like parking spaces or the stopping of the rain long enough to make a podcast, when we discover that God is trustworthy because His timing is perfect in the little things, then we can extend that to the bigger things and realize that He's in charge. We've put the matter into His hands. We've entrusted it to Him. And we've asked God to be in charge of the timing. And so any delay means He's got a better plan. So, whenever you see on the clock a number that's a perfect repeat of itself, like 333, stop and say, thank you, Lord, that your timing is perfect. Thank you, Lord, that you are with me. A lot of times what I do when I see that happen, first of all, remember it's never a coincidence. And what I do is I say, hi, God. I stop whatever I'm doing and I say, hi, God, and know that he's saying, hi, Terry, back at me. And at the same time, it's just a reinforcement of that I can trust his perfect timing. So now, there's your spiritual exercise all week long, and from now on, for the rest of your life, watch for those moments. You can't keep staring at the clock waiting for it. If it happens to be 3:32, don't sit there going, okay, I'm going to wait a minute, and now it's going to be 3:33. Hi, God. No. It has to be when you first glance, and there it is. The time is perfect. It's a 3:33 or 4:44, whatever. So it'll happen. Just ask God to be in charge of the timing and to give you his signals by having you happen to glance at the clock at just the right moment. And that will build your faith. And don't forget to say, hi, God. God bless you.